Hi, everybody. I am Constance Arnold, and I am here with the one and only Miss Carla Cargill. And we are known as the Talking Pearls. As you can see, we're sporting our beautiful pearls, and we are here to really share some powerful information around abundance, prosperity, and wealth that's really going to change your life. So, how you doing today, Carla?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited to be with you once again as the Talking Pearls, and let's help these people to stop using the B word and release all of that negativity.
Yeah, especially during these times, Carla, because we know that we're living in unprecedented times and people are really searching and looking and really want to know how can I bring more abundance. And when we say abundance, we know we're not just talking about money, but we are including money and prosperity and wealth into their lives. And so our last video, we talked about how to not ever use the B word again. And Carla, what's the B word? Oh, you can tell us.
Well, you know what, Constance? That B word is broke. We should stop using that word broke because that word broke will break you. And we know that words have power. And we don't want to curse ourselves because we talked about in the last video about how, when you talk about the B word, of course, a lot of people thought we were talking about that other B word because.
Oh, no, 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 no. We got too much class for that word.
Oh, yes, we do. We have too much class, but just the title alone, I got some interesting comments. But that's another conversation. But talking about releasing that B word because we want to stop cursing ourselves and speaking into our lives being broke. So I think today we're going to talk about why people say they're broke.
Right. Why is that? Because one other thing we shared was that we are actually the creators of our own life, of our own abundance and prosperity and wealth, whatever that looks like for whoever is watching this. And we want to really show you that it is the will of the Spirit for you to live that life, but there are universal laws that you have to align with and tap into. So today we're going to talk about why in the world would people even use or think about that B word?
That's right.
Yeah. And so one thing I want to say, Carla, is because I believe that people use that B word because it's their belief system. They have a belief system around being broke and scarcity and lack and not having enough. And interestingly enough, my background being a psychologist, I realized that people's belief system is formed by the time they are six. So let's just say, what is a belief? A belief is just something that you keep hearing over and over, and you keep experiencing over and over until you believe that it's true, and it might not even be true. So belief systems are formed really early around abundance, scarcity, being broke, not enough, and prosperity.
Well, I agree with that. And see, I think that oftentimes people, as you say, they buy into the environment that they were raised in. And that's oftentimes where the belief system comes from. They might have heard someone else use that word as a child. Like you say, you form your belief system by the age of 6. So depending on what you were exposed to, that B word could have been a normal word used in your household. Or it could have been a normal word you used or you heard in your community or your neighborhood. But the thing is, we know that that B word does not and should not be a part of our vocabulary because that B word is a curse word. And we
It
definitely are
is.
going to stop cursing ourselves by using words that disempower us rather than empower us.
You're so right, Carla, because it's not only what we experience, but it's the feeling behind being broken, not having enough. And so, what most people do is they take the beliefs from childhood and they begin to speak it out loud. We know your words are creative. I wrote down some words that I feel, some affirmations that people are believing around money. Money is the root of all evil.
Oh,
You got to
yes.
work hard to get some money. The rich get richer and the
And the
poor
poor
get
get
poor.
poor.
Money is evil and it is not the will of God. My family ain't ever had any money, Constance and Carla. And just so many more. I don't have a college degree, so I can't earn a lot of money. It takes money to start a business. Money don't grow on trees, and we know money can't make you happy. And so if a person believes that, feels that, thinks that, and says that over and over, they create the B word.
And they hear that too. They say it, and then the people around them say it. So it just becomes a reality. So they think in their state of being, their state of consciousness. So, one of the things also when I was thinking about why do people say the B word or why do they use the B word, oftentimes I also think that what happens is there's a state of consciousness that leads us to, and I say us because I'm sure we have overcome that. That's how we can talk about it.
Right?
The best
Boy,
way to talk about something is to have overcome it yourself. Whee!
boy, have I been there.
But the thing is, we recognize that some of the environment that we come from or what we have allowed ourselves is not just the environment alone. We're not going to hold our parents or our family or where we came from totally responsible, because part of it comes from what we have evolved into and what we believe for ourselves to be that description of abundance, that description of wealth, that description of money. So when you add those two together, sometimes if you have someone that has a certain level of discontentment, I think that that often plays a role in that state of consciousness of being and thinking that you're broke as well, because you always in a place where you think that there's not enough. So if you
Right.
think that there's not enough, then you think that you're going to be broke, because you look in your closet. For those that have a shoe fetish, they haven't bought a new pair of shoes in 2 months. It's with us being in the pandemic, many people
Right.
haven't shopped, but I guess you can shop online, but you can't try them online. But the thing is that when you think about that, then they tell themselves, because they have not been able to fulfill some need to buy something or go somewhere or have something, then they are broke. And that's just, again, that's just a buy-in to something that is not real. I know of a case personally with a situation with a client. I'm financial advisor, been doing this 28 years, and they had that state of mind that they were that B word because their bank account balance would fall below a certain amount. And I don't mean $2 either. I mean like $50,000. If they didn't have $50,000 in the bank, then they thought that meant that they were the B word. And of course, we know that is not reality. So it's getting people to buy in and to understand that our state of being, like you said, the wealth consciousness, the state of abundance, is not tied into those types of superficial states of being.
Right. And I love what you said, that everybody really determines what they want their abundance to look like. But the great news is that we can move away from the B word towards the A word, the abundance word. And that is the
Mhm.
great news. And I think that the first thing that everybody who's watching can do is, become aware, aware of the fact that, wow, I'm always using the B word. I'm thinking I'm broke. I'm talking it. I'm around broke people. I see the images in my mind. So awareness is like the first step to really shifting and changing. And you can tell whether or not you've really been living in the B word consciousness. You can look at your life. I mean, if every time you get money, my grandmama used to say your hands start burning, you gotta spend it. Or if it's not one thing, it's another. Or if you were like me, I got tons of money, but as soon as I got it, I spent it. Where did it go? And
Mhm.
so awareness would be the first way to really shift and change your consciousness or your beliefs away from that B word. And another thing they could do, Carla, would be to, just like we share different affirmations or ways of thinking,
Mhm.
or new beliefs, they could begin to introduce new beliefs. Get rid of that old B word stuff like, God don't want you to have money, or the rich get richer, and begin to think about some new truths, possibly around one that I say is that I'm a money magnet and money comes to me easily and effortlessly. The Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. What am I doing? I'm turning away from the B word and replacing it with new beliefs. I also say, avalanches of abundance come to me under grace in perfect ways. We know that the way that you, first of all, at the age of 6, began to say that the B word was truth was because you heard it over and over and over and over again. It was backed by experiences. So the way you create something new, Carla, is to hear all of the time, unlimited amounts of money come to me easily and effortlessly. You may not believe it at first, but then when you
Mhm.
begin to hear it, say it, feel it, and experience it, you have just adopted that as your new truth, and you'll be creating more abundance.
I agree with that completely. And something I like to add is that, it's important that everyone gets to the point where they know God for themselves, those that are believers, that their relationship with God is based on their relationship with God, and that they have an understanding and a connection with God in mind so that they can have clarity for themselves. And what I mean by that is you made a comment that they've heard, and where they've heard it, they've heard it in the religious community.
Mhm.
God doesn't want you to have money. Of course, everyone doesn't say that. Let me make that clear, but it has been said in some circles. And so the primary point I want to make it with that is that don't allow yourself to buy into something that in your soul, in your energy, in your state of being, you know that that is not true. You can look around you and see that there is abundance. You have to open your mind, open your eyes, open your heart, and recognize that abundance is here. God created the world, the universe in abundance. And so, if you're in a situation or if you're in a community that does not speak that and promote that, then you really have to ask yourself if that is the place for you. So you also have to align yourselves with people, a circle of people, an environment of people, a community of people who also are wanting and learning and growing to understand and release that B word too. Because if you
Good.
remain, and I don't mean if you're married, please, and the Carla did not say leave your spouse partner.
He didn't say it, y'all.
But what I'm saying is that it's important that you allow yourself to understand that all that plays a role in it. And so if you have to be the first one in your circle that changes that level of thinking and raises that level of conscious, then you allow yourself to be that person, operate with this place from a place of strength to know that we are not in and we're not created to live and use the B word. And I would really like to know where that came from, because we know the
Yeah.
word broke in itself means, did you break a glass? The glass is broke. Is your computer working? That means your computer is broke. So why did it come to a point where people allow themselves to attach that word to themselves, i.e. their money, and use that as a way to describe their financial state?
Wow, that's powerful insight. I never thought of that, and another thing that everyone can do is, become aware of it, and begin to speak just a different affirmation or a different truth. But Carla, just begin, like you said, there's so much abundance around. Y'all can go on YouTube and just begin to take a look at abundance. I was on there the other day and I was looking at Fiji, and the water was so blue
Gorgeous there.
and it was so luxurious. And it was, let's just say, for those 10 minutes, I was just immersed in and hypnotized by abundance. And so begin to look, whatever an abundant life looks like for you. It might mean going to Disney World and being able to take all of your children. It might mean taking your partner on a second honeymoon. I don't know, but begin to look at it, because we know that our brain processes images backed up with emotion 60,000 times faster. So begin to look at abundance, that new car, that new house, maybe, whatever abundance means for you, and that will also begin to shift and change your beliefs.
I agree completely. And it's just being mindful. I think at
Right.
this point, if that word, and ultimately it's not, we're just not saying stop using the B word. We're here to help and encourage you to rid yourself of that energy, of that thought process, of those words, because and that means that we have to become mindful. We have to
Yeah.
become mindful of what we say, what we do, the choices that we make, and that is a part of the transformation. And it's a positive transformation. Sometimes people don't make the choice to have the transformation because it seems difficult or it seems too far away. But when you allow yourself to truly make the transformation and go on that journey to abundance and living the life of wealth and abundance and prosperity, then it's a wonderful experience. It's a light experience. It's an experience that will truly change you for the better. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, so Constance and I know that we are planning to do many more of these talks. Now, how many, I can't say. And Constance is definitely wanting us to, as she has mentioned several times already in the talk, she wants us to focus our energy on affirmations. And I know that's probably our next presentation. We're going to share with you how to write an affirmation and speak an affirmation, affirmations that will empower you and enable you to receive and experience that life of abundance that we've been talking about.
Yeah, and I'm excited about our next video. And just lastly, another way that everyone can really tap into abundance is to look at the abundance that they already have and be radically grateful.
Yes.
Wow, I have a car. Um, I have clean drinking water. I have food. And so when you tap into the abundance with gratitude, because we know gratitude is a great multiplier. It multiplies more back to you. That is another way to really get rid of the B word and put yourself over in that vibration of abundance just by thinking about it. Some people write it down. Some people say it out loud. God, thank you for this day. But that is another easy way that Carla, that they can begin to shift in their whole consciousness of abundance.
I concur. And if it's one last thing I'll say is that one thing that I have taught myself is that when it comes to gratitude, if you operate in gratitude, then you'll always have something to be grateful for.
Right. On that note, I mean, what else can I say? Make sure you share this with your friends, with your coworkers, with
Click
your
and like, click
family.
like and share.
Yeah, like and share. And we're going to be back next week sharing with you just another step, another way of tapping into and aligning with the abundance and prosperity that is your divine birthright. And Carla, anything else you want to say?
Remember, we're the Talking Pearls. You can visit with us at www.thetalkingpearls.com. I'm Carla Cargill of The Financial Truth, and this is
Constance Arnold with the Success Talk radio show on the Law of Attraction Radio Network, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Abundant day.